Allison, thank you so very much. Okay, the calendar says spring, but it's certainly the time to make sure you get your summer plants in, your summer vegetables as well. With help on that, our good friend Derek Thomas joins us from Thomas Landscaping once again with some tips. All right, we got a lot to get through in a short amount of time, so let's get right to it. Let's talk first about where you want to start putting your garden, your plants.
Location's very, very important. Vegetable plants are going to need 6 hours of sun at least every day.
Wow.
So make sure that you plant them somewhere where they're going to get the sun. Never plant a vegetable plant underneath a walnut tree or close to a walnut tree. Walnut trees produce a chemical that will hinder the growth of your vegetable
So
plants.
don't plant by the walnut trees.
Try to keep all plants away from walnut trees.
Okay.
The other thing is location. If you have a big lot, don't plant it at the end of the lot, because then you're schlepping vegetables, from one end to the next.
It just makes it easier for you that way.
It makes it a lot easier if you plant it closer to the house.
How about the soil itself?
The soil is king. It absolutely is. You want to make sure that you've got a really good loam that you're working with. If you've got a heavy soil, there's a lot of great products on the market that will help to break up that soil. You know, one of the things that you want to do is never work the soil when it's wet either. Okay? Now, making sure that you take the time to prepare your soil using an organic fertilizer. You know, people are really into organics these days. This is an organic fertilizer and also an organic insecticide. So, you're making sure that you're protecting your soil. The plant, Steve.
Yeah.
That's the important piece.
You really need to know what you're getting into.
You got to know what you're doing. Don't overplant. People are getting gung-ho about vegetables. This sage plant was this sage plant last year.
Oh, wow.
So this is more sage than you will eat in a year.
You're going to get a lot.
So, make sure that and the same thing with basil. We've got basil here, tomatoes, whatever the plant.
What about the tomatoes? How much can you get out of a tomato plant?
Out of a tomato plant, you can get about 30 tomatoes, and I see a lot of people buying like 10 because the plants are small.
Right.
You're buying a tomato plant like this. What are you going to do with 300 tomatoes at the end of the summer?
You don't need that many.
The other thing, know the planting requirements of plants. If you're going to do squash and you get something like this is pre-done by the growers. What you want to do is you actually want to remove 2 of those plants, and you want to plant squash actually in hills. And the reason for that is squash need to cross-pollinate.
Okay. Another
secret about tomato plants, if you're going to grow it in a container, when you get the plant, you can remove that much of it. You actually take the plant out of the container. You plant it at the bottom of the container, and then with your soil, you want to plant it up. And what that's going to do, and you'll fill it all the way up to here. What that's going to do, the tomato is going to grow roots along the entire stem. You're going to have a much better rooted in tomato, much better yield.
So if you would have left that on before, maybe you'd only have this much.
Right, and it would have been a much leggier tomato and would have produced a lot less tomatoes.
And it's all the quality of the final product that we want.
That's right. I've already got tomatoes.
This is great. Well, this is why we come to you for the help. Derek Thomas, thank you so very much. You can find more information on Derek's website. Also, we always link it to our website at myfoxdc.com. All right, happy produce hunting. We have a lot more coming up throughout this morning. We want to make sure that you stick around, too, because coming up after